Hello and welcome to another vlog. Today I'm wild camping in Snowdonia. So I've just climbed up to Cwm Ffynnon, which is a little valley sitting above Pen y Pass and in completely the opposite direction to where everybody else walks. As always, the car park at Pen y Pass was absolutely heaving, and even quite late on into the evening people still coming down off the mountains. But all you have to do is walk in exactly the opposite direction and you come to this lovely little hidden valley right underneath the south face of the Glidders. And I've got the whole place to myself, and as you probably know, that's something I'm reasonably adept at, is finding a little quiet spot all to myself when most of the mountains are absolutely heaving. So all I'm going to do now is set up camp, get an early night and be up bright and early to shoot the dawn light on Snowdon and Crib Goch. Well, I honestly didn't think I'd be doing any shooting tonight, but I'm getting some absolutely fabulous light coming right up the valley from Llanberis. There's a few little wispy clouds up above Crib Goch, and the rocks on the far side above the pig track are really lighting up quite nicely. That looks pretty good. Bit of work to do to sort out the exposure, make sure I'm not clipping right down in the valley where it's still pretty bright. But I think with a one-stop bracket that should make quite a decent shot. Well, good morning. It's exactly sunup, and as you've just seen, I've been up ages. I woke up at 3 AM and the stars were absolutely glorious over Snowdon and Crib Goch. So I got up and took a few shots and I'm really pleased with them. For this first composition, I'm using the pig track as a leading line up to the ridge of Crib Goch, and I've got some rocks here for some foreground, so it's giving me nice depth to the composition. You get the impression that you're looking across a valley. I'm also spot metering. It's not a complex exposure, but by metering for each individual part of the image, when I blend them together, hopefully I'll have the best exposure. I'm going to make the most of golden hour. This is my favourite sort of photography. Sitting on a rock, just move the camera around slightly. I've got quite a few compositions in mind depending on what the light does, so hopefully it'll be an interesting hour. Well, that was worth the price of admission, which by the way is 10 quid to park overnight at Pen y Pass. Absolutely outrageous. But anyway, I've taken dozens of shots, really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna get packed up and head back down to the car and drop off all my heavy gear. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with the rest of the day yet, so stick around, see what happens. It's only just coming up to about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I don't need to be out of the car park till 8:30. So I thought I'd just take a quick stroll up the miners track, maybe as far as Llyn Llydaw, see if I can get some more photographs up there before I have to dash off to another venue. Okay, so I'm up as far as Llyn Llydaw, Brittany Lake as it's also known, and I've got one image in mind before I have to dash back and get my car out of the car park before it gets towed. So the image I'm thinking of is over my shoulder here, low down across the lake with Snowdon in the background. Despite you all thinking I'm an extremely competent photographer, I walked around sorting out my composition, went to get my tripod and, left it in the car. So all I've got is the flimsiest of flimsy vlogging tripods with absolutely no chance of sticking it in portrait mode because the L bracket won't fit this, and I tried it in portrait mode and it just fell over. So I'm stuck with a landscape shot. To be honest, it kind of doesn't matter because there's absolutely no contrast at all in that background. So it's going to be a case of use this as a recce and come back another day with a tripod. And I was going to use my ultra wide angle lens and a 10 stop, so I didn't bother with either of those on this tripod. It's just a waste of time. Well, that's about it for this outing. I just got home. In case you're wondering what happened, why the sudden abrupt end, I headed over to Capel Curig and over an epic breakfast at Cafe Shabod. I thought I'd head up to Pont Benlog and get some close-up pictures of the Ogwen Falls because it's a beautiful day, absolutely bright sunny skies, but really not that good for landscape photography. Anyway, when I drove up through the Ogwen Valley, it was absolutely heaving. I'd say there's probably more people there today than there are on Windsor High Street. Unfortunately, I've got back too early because the bloody wedding's still on. But I've got some processing to do, so not to worry. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this week. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you to all my subscribers, and if you haven't done it yet, why not subscribe now and join me next time. Cheers.